a $40 million plus Serie A reinforcement, Serie A signee for a team like Milan, you're expected to produce.
Finally, the drama is over, and Santiago Gimenez will be making the transfer from Feyenoord to AC Milan for a reported fee of 35 million euros. Is this a good deal for AC Milan? And who is Santiago Gimenez? If you've been following the channel for a long time, you know I'm a big fan of Santiago Gimenez. I made a video on the rise of Santi when he was having an incredible season with Feyenoord. So we're going to break it down in many aspects. Is this a good deal for Milan? What will he bring to this Milan team and the board of Milan, knowing they effed up in the summer and now trying to rectify the situation? So who is Santi? Santi has been unbelievable for Feyenoord for the past 3 seasons. You look at his goal scoring output, it's incredible. Now you look at the first season with Feyenoord. He didn't really start in the first half of the season, but then Arne Slot trusted the player in the second half of the season and he delivered the Eredivisie trophy, and Feyenoord finally captured their Eredivisie trophy. Second season, again, goal scoring output. Third season, goal scoring output. Yes, this season he's been dealing with an injury, but still getting you the goals. Now people will say Eredivisie tax, Eredivisie tax. And of course, you look at, like, for example, another Mexican player, Chucky Lozano, great player in the Eredivisie, then makes the move to Napoli, and I mean, just average. Is there a little bit of hesitation for Milan fans to get overhyped? Well, you look at their strikers right now. You got Morata, and you just know Alvaro Morata was such a bad deal that he's already leaving to Galatasaray. We'll talk about the Milan board in a second. So they have Morata, Tammy Abraham. I think Tammy's a good squad player. Is he going to be a starter for Milan? No, he shouldn't be. And Luka Jovic, really? He's still in the books. Get him back to somewhere where he can play some football. This is a good deal for Milan. They needed a striker. They needed a young striker who's also been proven in the European competitions. He just scored 2 goals against Bayern Munich. He scored 2 goals last season in the Champions League. He scored many goals in the Europa League. This guy's a proven striker in the Eredivisie and the European competitions. Now you look at his Mexican national team career, it ain't the greatest. Like, I love Santi, but his performances for El Tri are not up to par to what he is showing for Feyenoord. Yes, he scored that crucial goal in the Gold Cup final against Panama, but other than that, Santi has been a bit of a disappointment for El Tri. Milan really haven't invested into the striker position for a long time. They've tried Giroud, and Giroud came up clutch for them, but he was at the twilight of his career. They obviously tried Morata, didn't work out, and they tried many strikers. Maybe the last striker where Milan actually invested some heavy money into was Piatek. And Piatek had about 6 good months and then made the transfer to Hertha Berlin. Other examples like Carlos Bacca, but that was more of the banter era for Milan. I mean, the guy was scoring goals, but the entire squad was terrible. So for Milan, I think this is the right money to invest to. Yes, you need some defenders, and obviously you signed Kyle Walker, but you need more center backs. But the most glaring thing for me was a striker. You need a vocal point. You don't need Morata dropping in the DM position trying to be some playmaker. No, you need a guy who's in the box. Why was Rafael Leao so good when they won the Scudetto a couple seasons ago? Because he was playing off Giroud, and Giroud was just in the box. His off-ball movement was fantastic. I think Santi is almost a carbon copy of Giroud. Maybe he doesn't have the great technical skill of a Giroud. Look at this goal map of Santi. Santi, all of his goals are basically inside the 18-yard box. Isn't that what Milan need? They just need a vocal point inside the box. Aerial ability is fantastic. I think his off-ball movement is great, and he just needs one finish. You give him 2-3 chances, he will get you a goal. Whereas other strikers in Europe, they need like 5-6 chances and they'll get you that goal. So I think from Milan's perspective, they needed this player. I don't know why they didn't go for him in the summer. Obviously, Santi was linked to Nottingham Forest. Milan board are a disgrace, right? Okay, you could say, Michael, now they finally signed a player. They made some investments into a player like Santi. Great. Well, why did you not do that in the summer? Why are you signing players like Emerson Royal? Why are you signing players like Morata? Why? I think Pavlovic, decent squad player, give him some more opportunities. I don't think he's gotten a fair shout at Milan so far. But why did you go for Morata? Santi was there the whole entire summer. Even I recommended. I was like, go get Santiago Gimenez. Okay, yeah, he's not the glamour name like a Gyökeres or Alexander Isak. The Milan board are just, they're all over the place. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have an actual plan on what they're doing. Now they're just trying to scramble and say, hey guys, now we're going to get this player. We're going to try and get this player. They knew they effed up in the summer, and now they're trying to rectify the situation. So if I'm a Milan fan, I would still call out this board and maybe protest against the entire board and the owners, because this is not good enough. This is AC Milan. This is one of the most historic clubs in the world. And for Santi to go to this club, I mean, this is a fantastic move for Mexican football because Mexican football has been in the gutter for the last couple of years, and they're going to host the World Cup in a couple of years' time. Well, actually, next year already, in like 16 months' time, in less than 500 days, the World Cup will be playing in Mexico. If Santi is getting the goals at Milan and is a crucial part in them being successful in any way, that would be massive for Mexican players and more clubs in Europe. Obviously, the Mexican clubs, they don't really want to sell their players. That's a whole different discussion. But if Santi can catch fire at Milan, maybe that's going to be a good thing for El Tri. And also the competition between Santiago Gimenez and Raul Gimenez on who will be the starting striker for El Tri at the World Cup. So for the Mexican national team, I think this is just great. You just knew that Santi needed a move. Obviously, Feyenoord, he did his thing. He captured the Eredivisie title. I think he's done everything possible for Feyenoord. I think this is Feyenoord's record transfer away from the club, so they get some money, they get to reinvest. Obviously, they still have Ueda, Anis Hadmusa, so they got some good players. Now let's see who they will recruit, because Feyenoord, they always find a gem anywhere in this world. Overall, this is a great move. I just hope for Santi, he just now focuses, stays injury-free, because he is prone to injuries, not like a long-term injury. He did have a long-term injury at the start of this season, but he finds those little 1-2 weeks injuries. I just hope it works, because I think this is so crucial for Milan. This is so crucial for the Mexican national team. And I've been watching Santi so much with Feyenoord. When they won the Eredivisie title, I was like, this guy is different. Finally, a Mexican player that you can back and say he is actually good. Now, he's going to the big stage, to the San Siro. Now, he might not play against Inter in the Milan derby, but the most funniest thing about this transfer is, did you just see the Champions League draw? Who is Milan going to play? Fine. You cannot write this script. Obviously, the football god said this is going to be scripted in this way, that Santi will return to the Cope and play against Feyenoord. And I'm sure if he scores, he's not going to celebrate, because the Feyenoord fans love him. I think he loved the club because the club gave him a chance in Europe. So overall, I think it's great for all parties. It's great for Feyenoord. They got what they wanted. They got the money. It's great for Milan because they need a striker who is going to get them the goals. And it's great for Santi because now Santi will really take it to the next stage in his career. If you want to give an overall grade for this transfer, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. Because yes, while Santi is a very good striker, he's not like an Alexander Isak. I don't think he's a Yerkeres or anybody like that. Milan are not going to spend crazy money. They're not going to spend 60 million, 70 million on one player. That's not what this board are going to do. They're going to try and do the smart signings. And this is actually a smart signing because Santi is a proven player, not like an Emerson Royal who we know is not great. We know he's not a Morata who, yeah, let's be honest, he's not good either. And he's been going club to club like some stripper out there. And he's just not good enough. So now you got a striker, a vocal point, and somebody who's only 23 years old. 5 years, 6 years, you can say, hey, Santi, you can go to another club like, I don't know, maybe Arsenal, Real Madrid, Barcelona, if he's consistently getting you 20 to 30 goals a season. But let's see what happens in that Champions League matchup. It just adds another element, and I love these sort of storylines in football. Feyenoord against Milan, Champions League, Santi returns to the Cup. You gotta love it, people. You just absolutely love it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people. If you're a Milan fan, are you happy with this transfer? Do you think this is the transfer that you need right now? Do you need other transfers like a center back? Let's see what happens with Tomori if he's going to leave the club. And Mexican people, what is your thoughts about Santiago Gimenez moving to AC Milan? This is a massive move for Mexican football. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And yes, we will be covering a lot of the Champions League, including the matchup between Feyenoord and Milan. So if you like that sort of content, remember to subscribe. Follow me on all the socials. You can find those links in the description down below. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.